Alrighty, for the longest time you guys have been asking me, Pete, the Vortex Venom, what's up? It's a new scope, show us. Okay, in today's video, that is 100% what we're gonna be doing. So, we got in some stock. Now usually I get stuff a little bit early sometimes from Vortex, however my unit did not come in, so in today's video we're actually going to use a unit from the inventory from my store. So for one lucky viewer in South Africa, you're going to be able to purchase this unit. Okay, well, not this one, this box is actually empty, but you're going to be able to test the unit that we did this initial impressions on. You're going to be able to buy that at a little bit of a discount. So there's going to be a link down below. Use the coupon code Venom and you'll be able to get what? Let's knock 10% off because you're buying something that's already been opened and mounted onto the rifle. So this wouldn't be an impact shooting video without an epic B-roll sequence. So let's do that now, shall we? Grab a sealed unit. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed that little edit. At this time, I've obviously not edited that yet, but I thought the setting was pretty cool with the rifle sort of on the wood. I was chopping some wood and using the chainsaw the other day just to get sort of my firewood stack up for next year. So I've taken care of all next year's wood. Okay, so Venom, where does it fit into the product lineup for Vortex in terms of, let's focus specifically on their first focal plane tactical optics for now. So you're gonna have Diamondback Tactical at the lower end of the spectrum. Then we're gonna get the Venom, okay? Then it's gonna be Strike Eagle, which also recently came out, PST Gen 2, and then obviously at the high end is going to be the razors, okay, those cool bronze ones that you're used to seeing on my rifles. Now, as you go up sort of in optical quality, you get better coatings, better turrets, everything kind of gets better, but also does the price. So I'm actually a big proponent of having more options across the board. You know, all of us, the budget is different. I've been shooting for quite some time. I've obviously invested heavily into kit, and I do recommend you guys do that. But everybody's budget is different. So it's quite nice to have sort of a more budget-friendly option too. And hey, perhaps you're looking for a rifle or for an optic for your kiddie's rifle or something like that, or your air rifle, which this will very likely end up going onto an air rifle or a 22 or something like that. So without further ado, let's run through some specs here. So we've got 34mm tube. Okay, so that means if you have a set of 30mm rings, you will have to get another set of rings, okay, because they're a little bit bigger. Now, generally what that allows us to do, let's take it out and talk about it while we're actually going through it. I haven't set up the studio yet that will have the top-down camera, but that is coming, so please bear with me for that. Okay, let's pop this guy out and we'll actually get to all the stuff that's in the box. With regards to a 34mm tube, generally what that allows us to do is give us a little bit better field of view. Okay, so how much you can see at a given distance. It also makes it easier for the optical engineers to pack some elevation in this. Now, 25 mils worth of travel, mil MRAD, okay, and 25 on the windage too. If you pop this onto a 20 MOA rail, you obviously get a little bit more towards the top, which, I mean, 99% of the time, guys are mounting them on a 20 MOA scope base. Cool. So what's really cool also is you get these new, well, they're not new, they've been coming with since the Strike Eagle. In the past, we used to get those hard rubber, almost with like an elastic, or it wasn't rubber actually, it was plastic, like these hard caps that used to ship with the PSTs. Those were horrible. You couldn't actually use them in real life. They're like, I always thought they'd scratch up my scope, so I really like this sort of soft rubber, and you can actually, this is a viable option for you if you're going hunting or you're out at a match and you don't want dust and nonsense going into your scope, you can just pop this on and rip it off once you're ready to use it. So I really like that. Also included in the box is, this is the other box of the one that's already been mounted. We have a sunshade, okay, which is nice. This helps for two things. Sun, okay, if the sun's coming at slightly an angle, instead of it going into your lens, you've basically given yourself, it's almost like holding your hand there for a little bit more shade. The other thing which also helps, if you're shooting a lot and your barrel's getting warm, remember, if we look at where this optic is sitting on this rifle, okay, this is where the explosion is basically happening in your rifle. So this is going to be the hottest section of your barrel here. The heat's going to start building here. So generally speaking, you'll start having scope mirage. Okay, you could start experiencing that from heat coming up from your rifle's barrel. So having a little bit of a longer scope or using the sunshade to your advantage is going to channel that heat, and it's going to be less heat that you have to look through downrange, therefore leading to a slightly better sight picture. So that's pretty important. Okay, we've got the Rev Stop Zero system, so same system as with the new Strike Eagle, super easy. And then also this has become such a nice little value add from Vortex is the fact they're shipping these optics with a throw lever. Okay, that basically pops on the back here, and if you need to change that magnification on the fly, like really quickly during a stage, or you're hunting, you need to find an animal, and you want to jump back and forth on that magnification, just this makes it a little bit easier by giving you a little bit more leverage on that ring. And then we also have one of these scope tools. Now it seems to be the case, I can't actually remember if the Strike Eagle one had the little cutout on that front, but that's actually pretty cool because you can now hook that onto your keychain. So you have a little Vortex keychain and you've always got your little scope tool with. Because I've got a nasty habit of losing these guys, so that is pretty cool. So, what do I think of the Venom so far? In South Africa, at 13,999 for a first focal plane Vortex with a lifetime warranty, it's a pretty good deal. Something to keep in mind, you have to plan your ring height a little bit more careful now because you can have a 56mm objective, okay? That might actually, if you're running super low rings, you might start getting some interference here, and that is something to be careful of because you obviously don't want that scope. You don't want anything touching your barrel, so keep that in mind. If you're unsure of what rings to get, you could email Vortex, their customer service team. If you say, I've got this optic with this rifle, they have kind of like a database going there, and they should be able to help you out with that too. Some other things to keep in mind, non-illuminated reticle, aka you don't have a light in your reticle, the reticle does not light up. Now, I very seldomly even bothered putting batteries in scopes because I generally don't shoot in conditions which lend themselves to me needing an illuminated reticle. Woo, I haven't had enough coffee. I seldomly shoot in scenarios where I need an illuminated reticle. Okay, now I have used it in the past when it's early in the mornings or sort of duskish, just to buy myself a little bit more time because I don't know when that animal might step out. I'm in position. Like that last kudu I shot, I actually had my illumination turned on in the AMG for that specific hunt. Now, is it a deal breaker for me? Absolutely not. I don't think any of the PSTs I own have their batteries put into the scopes because it's just not a function I use. Another thing to keep in mind, we've got parallax from 15 yards to infinity. Now, the 15 yards is really cool if you're doing something like NRL 22, and you need to engage a target that's really close to you to be able to find focus down on that is very, very important. So that's what the 15 is going to help you for that. Otherwise, I think it's a really nice looking optic just off the get-go. It looks cool. It's obviously quite tactical. All the turrets work. The clicks, I don't know how that, because the mic's here, so I'm going to do that. Clicks are not bad. It's much better than the Diamondback Tactical. The Diamondback Tactical had quite a bit of squish, felt soft and mushy almost. I think that's just the term people throw around, but the Diamondback Tactical, the turrets were definitely not as precise and as audible as this one. So I quite like that. So turrets with a nice sort of tactical sound to them just sort of adds to that quality feel and product experience. So that's another plus for me. Now, how this thing tracks, how it shoots, I don't know, because I haven't shot with it, but I have had it up on my balcony and sort of scanned the environment, and I mean the glass looks exactly what you expect from Vortex. So a few years ago, I actually took my Razor off my match rifle, flew across the country to shoot an NRL match, okay, a National Rifle League match, with a Diamondback Tactical. Now that's one version below the scope. And the reason I did that, I wanted to prove that you don't need the highest end optic to be competitive in the sport. Yeah, you'll probably notice the optical quality if you're looking at the two side by side immediately after each other, or if you're on your glass for hours at a time. But the reality is most of us aren't doing that. And should you ever have any issues, you're backed by their Vortex warranty, which is obviously the best in the business. Now, speaking of that, fun story, well, not so fun for the person involved, but one of our clients actually reached out to us, and he'd been in a car accident and his XRS from MDT broke in half, okay? So quite a vicious car accident. Luckily, he's okay. I got the pictures of his XRS, sent it over to MDT. They didn't have to, but they replaced his XRS for him. So that is some phenomenal customer service from MDT too. You guys know I'm MDT through and through. My first chassis ever I bought, which on a sad note, I actually sold this week because that chassis used to be on this 223 Remington. It was that ESS with the carbon fore end. It was freaking sick. And I finally got an ACC for that 223 now, just to sort of have everything on the same level. Anyway, guys, that's my initial impressions on the Venom. I will be shooting this some more. I'll put some trigger cam footage up for us. I've actually got somewhere here, Skull gave me his 4K trigger cam, so I'm excited to use that. But we have a little bit of news coming with regards to sort of shooting and things in the next couple of weeks. Anyway, I hope you guys like the new shop look. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you've picked up a Venom. Do you like yours? Let me know if you haven't picked up a Venom. If you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe. It really helps a lot. If you didn't like the video, do that. It's quite easy. Anyway, watch the video of me shooting a Diamondback Tactical here. Super old video. And some hunting videos up here. See you in the next one. Bye.